I'm going to give you guys the best information I can get because I've been around a long time. I've lived many decades. It always changes. It always reverses. There's always a correction. And we're having 3 corrections right now. Plus, we're trying to
Mm,
come out of a pandemic. I just read this morning that it's an endemic, which means that it has gone. They've decided through hospital stays and people who are reporting they have COVID, it's gone down quite a bit. So they're calling it an endemic now. So it's not a pandemic. But if you take that, we got really chunky with our corporate world, and we got really low with our interest rate. We
mhm.
got really inflated by the housing market, and then we got a pandemic, and then people have to make the correction, and the correction is always made in
Mhm.
on the corporate level by people that are really disconnected from the workforce. So you're
Yes, I've
just
seen
a
that.
number, an employee number, or you're not even a name to them. And so they just say to the people who actually have to work with middle management, you need to lay off 2,000 people, and it needs to happen by this date. And, oh, sad to, what, oh, bad, too sad. They don't care. And so because they're not connected to the people in their lives, and people who go to work think that the boss cares. I want to tell you, large corporations, absolutely, absolutely, no one is connected to the employees at large. They do not really connect. You're a number, and either you produce income for them or you're starting to change their bottom line. So if you're looking for sympathy from the higher ups at the corporation you've been laid off from, you won't get it. You might get sympathy from your peer group or the manager right above you or the HR department, but you won't get it from the higher ups. They do not look at you as clearly as you and your peer group look at you. They don't have that same reaction. They go into
Mhm.
a room, they get a report, it says that they're losing money, they are paying X amount for marketing, and they've got product services, and they say, where are we going to cut? And the first thing they cut is labor. So when you're in the labor force, you have to do more planning than just, oh, I got a great job, I'll be there forever. No, you won't. I'll,
No, I
I'll
know.
tell you, I'll tell you, Joe, it's a real eye opener. I had a situation in my life where someone had worked in aerospace for 35 years. And
Mhm.
during the course of his 35 years, people had gotten retirement parties, gold watches, stock options, everything. This was in the heyday of the aerospace industry. When
Mhm.
this person was about to retire, before they were able to retire, they came in on a Monday morning. There was a literal pink slip on their desk and a tape. This is a while ago, a videotape of how to get back into the workforce when you've been laid off. And that was after 35 years. And there was no party, there was no gold watch, there was no goodbye luncheon. It was just over. And
That's
that's how,
cold.
yeah, but that's how much the workforce has changed, and how much control corporate leaders have over the people that work for them. That does not matter. 35 years, loyal as can be. Pink slip, video, gone.
Yeah, that's
So
crazy. And Robin, I just wanna go back a little bit. You said that there are 3 corrections right now. You might have already said it, but what are those 3 corrections happening right now?
the 3 corrections are, well, there might be 4, Joe. The corrections are that corporations are going to streamline, and they had gotten top heavy and pretty employee rich,
Yeah.
and they are now thinning the herd. The second thing is the stock market grows and grows, and it
Mhm.
has to make a correction or people won't enter the stock market. So the stock market is, like I said, it is a sanctioned Ponzi scheme where people have to get in at some point, so it has to ebb and flow. The next correction is that the workforce that was keeping us alive during the pandemic has
Mhm.
quit and said, I don't want to do that
Mhm.
anymore. I'm not interested. And then the fourth is the interest rates going up while the
Mhm.
housing market it's not crashing, it's correcting too. So
And
there are
how are
four
those people surviving? The people who don't have those high paying jobs? Because obviously I can see how those people are surviving, right? Hopefully they have a lot of savings and other opportunities, I'm sure. But like the people who are quitting those jobs that they just don't want to work anymore, like how are they
well,
surviving?
yeah, well, some of them have held out and gotten paid more. There is a new trend or idea that if you want to keep a healthy workforce, you're going to have to offer them things. And
Mm.
in general, the people that were being paid $12 to $22 were not being offered benefits, were being only used part-time, were not being looked at as a solid, stable, full-time employee. And so they said, pretty much, hell with this. We don't want to do that. We do not want to be abused like this. So as they exited the workforce, they left a big hole. And that is what, believe it or not, corporations are trying to shore up. Like corporations like CVS's and
Mhm.
Walgreens and grocery stores and hospitals without nurses. They're the ones in jeopardy. They're the ones that they need specific kinds of workers to keep their companies going. And if people are not going to work in fast food and are not going to be checkers and are not going to be LVNs and don't want to take crap from people screaming at them all the time, that's the group of people I'm the most concerned with. The ones that are trying to get, can't even afford an apartment. Um, those are the
Yeah,
ones
yeah.
I worry about. Now, the
I mean, how
jobs
do
are
they
still
survive?
there. The
Yeah.
jobs are still there, but they took a stand and said, I don't want to go back to that job unless something changes. I don't want to go back to that job when it's still the same crappy job. I would like
Mhm.
to be paid, $5 more an hour. I would like to get some benefit. I would like to get stable hours. That's what that whole fabulous workforce that kept us alive during the pandemic is saying. Basically, you need to treat us better. You don't get to stomp all over us and act like you're better. And I am on their side 100%. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. Think about this. We have so abused servers in restaurants when we moved things outside, and we were yelling at servers, and servers said, I don't want to go to work. I don't want to do that. I just don't want to. And
Yeah.
so there was a moment in time when they could get unemployment, and we had a moratorium on rents, and we had stopped student loans. So you see where I'm going with this, Joe? All
Yeah,
those
yeah.
things are coming back. And so all those
Exactly. So
people
all
are
those
going to
people
come
who
back to work. They're going
yeah,
to have
so
to go back to work.